As authors, you want the most successful book and book launch as possible. You put a lot of time and effort into writing your book, coming up with the plan to launch it, getting it published, bringing a team together. It's a lot of time and effort. In essence, you're building your own little author business with your book leading out on the charge. But what if your book doesn't do as well as you expect? What if it flops and it doesn't get the reviews that you desired? What if it just doesn't resonate with your audience like you expected? And what if it just doesn't bring in the business and authority that you expected? Well, today we're going to go through an activity to help prevent that as much as possible. You may have heard of a postmortem where you reflect back on what didn't go as well and what did go well. Well, I'm going to walk you through a pre-mortem where you're going to anticipate what could go wrong so that you could prevent it right now. This is Your Path to Publish. I'm your host, Zach Christensen. For the past decade, our team has guided authors just like you to find the best path to publish your book, get people excited to buy it even before it launches, and to turn it into the ultimate business card to build your business and your legacy. If you are ready to get your book out of your head and into people's hands, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Authors generally don't jump into their book project and launch their book with the anticipation that they're going to flop. You're putting in all that time, that years of effort. You've brought a team, you spent money, you've put in countless hours in bringing everything together and learning and growing as an author, and you want the best book launch possible. It's completely understandable. And because there's so much going into everything, into the planning, into the design of the book, into the cover, and so much of that converges at the same time right before you launch. Typically for authors, about 4 months before their launch, they're bringing together the designers, they're bringing together the proofs, they're bringing together the ideas for the launch plan. And before you know it, you're a month before the launch and you're like, what have I done? What have I put together? And that could only be one of the challenges that you run into. So the activity today of doing a pre-mortem can be tremendously helpful for any author at any stage of their author journey. Whether you're in book development, working and writing on your book, trying to get it done, whether you're in the book publishing phase and going through one of the 3 main publishing paths, whether you're building out your author brand or your platform, whether you're just close to launching and marketing your book, or you're post that and you're trying to use your book as an authority piece to bring in more business and attract more of your ideal client and customers. The pre-mortem is a tremendous tool. Now, you may have heard of the phrase, hindsight is 20/20. And that really sums up what a postmortem is, where you're looking back at exactly what went well and what didn't go well, whether it's a project, whether it's an event, whether it's an interaction with somebody. You're looking back and attempting to learn from the situation so that you don't make those same mistakes again, or that you can repeat the successes that happened. In a pre-mortem, we're using the power of our mind and using our imagination to predict what went wrong if your book were to flop. Now, that may not sound like the funnest to imagine it, but it opens our mind into thinking about, if this event does happen, what could I have done to prevent it? And the best part is that you're doing it now, so you're identifying what went wrong so that you can prevent it now. Confusing enough? Well, you'll get it as we dive in a little bit more into it. So the first step of a pre-mortem is to gather your team, or if it's just you, just to sit down and block out at least 30 minutes to imagine this scenario. So imagine you put in all the time and the effort and you're 1 day away from launching your book. Your book launches and it doesn't do as well as you anticipated. Let's say you get 50% of the reviews that you expected. Your book did moderately well, you got okay sales, but it just wasn't what you wanted. You didn't attract the clients that you wanted. So now, with that fixed in your mind and thinking about that, look back and think about what went wrong. What didn't go well? What didn't you anticipate? What didn't resonate with your audience? What did your launch team not do that you expected them to do? What did your clients get, but they didn't act on? Go through that and write down all the questions and brainstorm everything that didn't go as expected. And that's the first step. The next step is then to identify from those questions the answers, what didn't go well, and what you can do right now to further prevent that. You'll be surprised at what you think about. As an example, an author I met with recently could have truly benefited from this. They had a book that we hopped on a call to talk about that they had already launched. It had done well previously in their home country, but then moving to the US, it didn't land as expected. They went through all the same steps, did all the same things, and it just didn't land as well. So we looked at their book page, and there was a few things I immediately saw that they could have used to prevent this from happening. First was the price. The price was extremely high, and there was an indication of why. Why was this book nearly twice as much as so many of the other books out there at their competition? So as I discussed this further with the author, I learned that this was a premium book product. Hardcover, full color pages. It was actually more of a guidebook and a workbook to help their ideal audience through the first year of a major life change. Now, that was not conveyed anywhere in the listing, at least enough that it told me immediately that this book was different. The image wasn't done as well as it could have been. This book would have highly benefited from some type of video or internal pictures to really show the quality of this book. Applying a pre-mortem to this, they may have seen it. They may have understood that if I'm looking at this through the lens of my audience, I'm going to be shocked at the price tag, and I might immediately just discard it and go away, unless there's something else that catches my eye and helps me learn and understand why this book is a premium product and why it can help me. Another great way you can apply this even more granularly is to think about specific parts of what you're planning for your book launch. So let's take, for example, a launch team. You've put the time and effort together to put your launch team together. You find those individuals and ask them to join your team that are willing to give a review on your book, purchase your book, and share it with others on social media. Now, from my experience, a successful launch team, a highly successful launch team, will be whatever number you get in the launch team. If at least half of those people do those things, that's a success. But we're always striving for better. So using a pre-mortem mentality, what could go wrong with your launch team? What will have prevented them from doing what you expected and what they committed to do? So some of the things that come to mind is, I imagine this for the launch team I'm putting together for my book, is they didn't get enough reminders or communication about what to do. The communication and the steps weren't clear. I've been through this several times. They've been through it maybe one other time before, or most likely not at all. So I have to be very clear and check what I'm assuming that they already know how to do. They may not know how to give a book review. They may not know how to get on Goodreads prior to the book launching and give a review on there, and then post-launch be able to jump on and give a review on Amazon. And then the day of the launch, maybe I didn't send out the reminders. Maybe they didn't finish the book in time. Maybe the copy that I had sent them previously, I only sent them a week beforehand, and they could have used it at least 3 weeks beforehand so that they could give an honest review on the book. Maybe I just didn't give them enough clarity about the expectations of what I wanted them to do. So do you see how this can be extremely valuable? What I'm really doing in this pre-mortem is I'm checking my blind spots. I'm checking that I am not assuming that everyone has the knowledge that I have about putting this together. And as a coach especially, I have to double check my blind spots because I've done this so many times and it has become second nature. So for you as an author, think about with your pre-mortem that you can do, what exactly are you assuming and what can you prevent? This is a powerful exercise. So your action item for this week is to pick a day and a time for at least 30 minutes and participate in a pre-mortem. I'm so excited for you to jump into this and really dive into how you can prevent your book from flopping or at least not meeting the expectations that you are wanting and hoping for. And even if it doesn't do as well as you expected, I guarantee you that it will do better than if you hadn't done a pre-mortem. And bringing your team together, bringing your coach, your designer, your ghostwriter, whoever is helping you on your team, and having them go through this exercise with you will bring in more thoughts and ideas and insights on what you can do right now to prevent things from not going as you expected. So thank you today for joining me on your path to publish. As always, if this episode was helpful, please share it. Please give a review if you haven't already. It helps us get out there and find the nonfiction, business, and self-help authors and other authors that we can help. Go out there this week, keep writing, keep doing your pre-mortem, and get ready for your author business to thrive. Thank you for listening.